quick little announcement before getting into the video, and that is Dog Ningen Volume 3 is now available on paperback, and you can get it on Amazon, so if you are interested, I'll be leaving the link down in the description below. DH and Serbian, the author and artist for this series, have been a huge help to me regarding the process with my own things, so yeah, make sure you go check it out. Alright! Now some more manga recommendations, and originally I was considering doing this whole thing with the manga for beginners, and I realized though that list mainly comprised of mainstream titles from Weekly Shonen Jump, and personally I think those are series that you can get into at any stage. However, real quick before getting into the actual recommendations for the video, I wanted to throw off some names for anybody who's looking for happy, good feeling series. Say you're feeling down and you need something to cheer you up, and the first recommendation would be Our Happy Time. It's really short, it's only a few chapters, but if you're feeling a little down in the dumps, please go check it out. There's also Goodnight Pun Pun, which, you know, again, if you're not feeling too good, I'd highly recommend it. For everybody in the comments, don't say a single word because I don't want you to spoil them. But the first actual recommendation of the video is Nanhao and Shang Feng, which is a hilarious manhwa. This thing is, and I'm not exaggerating, possibly the funniest thing I have ever read. It perfectly nails comedy, and it's currently in 91 chapters, and you could easily catch up to it within a few hours. It's essentially about these two friends and their stupid adventures in high school, but the author is genius with the sort of running gags throughout the entire series, as well as just comedic timing and facial expression. I think being able to nail comedy within manga is quite an art form in and of itself, because you don't have things such as timing with voice acting and delivery. If not, you are relying on simply your ability to sort of, I guess, subvert expectations and then come up with a punchline that no one saw coming. And this series does it over and over and over again. Just trust me, just check out the first chapter and you'll instantly see it. Later on in the series, it actually does start to develop some of the characters more and really pull at your heartstrings. But for the majority of it, this series is only a few pages long per chapter, like maybe 5 at most. But there is the occasional one that's much longer, and that's when it does get into some serious moments. Now, this next one's also manhwa from the author of Sweet Home and Bastard, and this one's actually a prequel to Sweet Home. And I was a little hesitant on recommending it because when I had the video in mind, I'm not even gonna go there. So, Shotgun Boy, the main character, he gets bullied a ton, and his school goes on this field trip, camping trip, if you will. And being there, turns out the alien monster things from Sweet Home originate here. Luckily enough, though, our protagonist doesn't find himself in the auditorium where all this stuff is going down, and he instead finds a shotgun. And he, with all intents and purposes, was planning on unloading on his entire class. He was literally like, 30 bullets, I have 30 classmates. And then he shows up, but luckily, unluckily, I don't know anymore. For the students, they were getting killed by monsters, so instead of using it on his classmates, he now has to use it on the monsters. He's kind of a hero due to circumstance, which was a really interesting thing to see, and of course this author brilliantly kind of tackles themes such as abuse and all types of struggles. All 3 of his main characters, from what I've seen, aren't typical badasses, and if not, they're very weak-willed people put in very troubling circumstances, which forces them to grow, which is, I've honestly loved every single main character this author has come up with. Just like with Sweet Home and Bastard, the plot twists and the mystery are also a huge aspect of these types of series. So if you're really into sort of thriller/horror, definitely check out Shotgun Boy, as well as Sweet Home and Bastard if you haven't already. So before any of you judge me for this next one, no, it's not a yaoi, calm down, okay? It is a romance, however. You ever have moments where your mom was watching like a TV show and it was like one of those soap operas, or in Spanish, telenovelas, and you just be like walking by and then it'd get like real dramatic, like, oh, how could you cheat on me? And for some reason, you don't know what compels you to just stop and go, well, why did he cheat on her? And then you just end up sitting down and watch. That's what this story feels like. Wish You Were Dead. It's I think it's a webtoon, if I'm not mistaken, and it's essentially this prince who gets married to this princess who's the daughter of the duke who's been assassinating his entire family for God knows how long. And he has an absolute hatred towards his new queen, not only because she's the duke's daughter, but also because he genuinely believes she's just using him and doesn't care about him at all. Hence the name Wish You Were Dead. He says some genuinely horrible things to her. But the twist, right? The little twist. She actually does love him a lot. And I can't get into why, because I'd really be spoiling more than I low-key already am. But bro, originally you just get his perspective, and then eventually you get her perspective regarding the events as well. And once you get her perspective, oh, it just changes your whole view of him. And it's really heartbreaking, and I really hope they end up together. I can't read any more series that keep doing this to me, but I can't stop either. Like, I don't get it. But anyways, it's still ongoing. It's only like 30-some chapters. You should be able to get caught up to it pretty quickly. Now, this next series I've been trying to pronounce now for like a week, and I just can't get the name right. So editor, if you could put the title of this manga up on the screen, that'd be great. All you need to know is this is done by one of my favorite mangaka of all time, and that is Kakizaki, the author of Green Blood, Hideout, Bastarius, and Rainbow. And once again, this story starts off in a bit of a prison setting. This man in prison settings, I'm telling you, is a perfect match. And we end up finding out that our main character was actually an ex-cop who killed 2 men for killing his family. So then he goes out, tries to hunt down the man who did so, kills him, but then the man comes back to life. And then the Grim Reaper shows up, and it turns out that this man had eaten a fruit which grants him some sort of immortality. And what really drew me to this is I saw the cover art for this, and it looked like the main character was like this half Cthulhu type of thing. And so I was instantly intrigued, and my goodness, did Kakizaki instantly capture my attention once again. Now, there is a bit of a warning I should give, as this manga gets pretty heavy, very mature, and a little bit out of pocket, actually very out of pocket, so don't say I didn't warn you. However, if you think you can stomach that kind of thing, then go ahead and read, as well as check out some of his other works. They are absolutely fantastic. This series only has like 6-7 chapters out right now, so once again, something you could get caught up to immediately. Now, if you're a dirtbag who clicked on this video solely because of the big buff woman, I congratulate you, because this big buff woman was the reason I read this thing in the first place. Tenkaichi. If you're familiar with Record of Ragnarok, sort of imagine that, but instead of gods from different mythologies, just imagine it with Japan's greatest myth warriors, actual warriors. I don't know how historical this thing is, but there's a lot of different interpretations of these characters. For example, Musashi Miyamoto is done in one of the coolest ways I've seen in this story as well. And it's another tournament fighting series. The artwork is great, the characters are outlandish, the fights are really epic. So again, if you're just kind of into that sort of thing, just go into it. That's all I could really say about the series, honestly. As again, if you've read Record of Ragnarok, it's kind of that, just in my opinion, with better artwork and just a different setting of characters. But with that, I can now conclude this video. This has been The Masked Man. Hope everyone has a blessed rest of the day, and peace.